Hello friends, welcome to Win guys. Today we will be going to talk about AWS ALB, that is Application Load Balancer. Actually, load balancer serves as a single point of contact for the clients. The load balancer distributes incoming application traffic across the multiple targets, usually like such as EC2 or in the cluster services and all. Actually, this increases the availability of your application, and it also has something called listeners that checks for the connections request from the client, like with the protocols or the ports or the paths. We can actually configure them to the particular services and all. Usually, you call them as rules that you define for the listeners, determining how the load balancer routes the request to its registered targets, such as based on some of the paths and all. So here in our application, if you see, this is a load balancer, and we have two EC2 instances and one ECS cluster here. So in this cluster, we have two services. One is people service and time service. And here we have a green and a red same instances which runs the same application with the same port, 80 port. And here these two services runs in a different port. And so whenever the traffic comes and the listener checks, like which port it is, and if it gets the default, like 80 port, then it automatically routes to these two applications. And among them also, like since it's a load balancer, it cannot distribute to both. So first request will go to either green or red, and alternatively it will go to the alternative EC2 instance. And here in another example, what I can say, show you is like based on the path. So I'll be defining a path rule where the request, if it comes to that particular load balancer with slash people, then I'll say you should go to the target group where I'm specifying you should go and call people service. Same way, like time is another path rule which will be adding, and it will be pointing to the time target group, and this target group will be mounted to this particular ECS service. So what we can understand here is like based on the port or based on the path, we can define the rule in the load balancer so that the request will be posted to those kind of those services with respect to their rule which we have defined in the load balancer. And since by default load balancer uses the round robin, so if you continuously hit slash 80 port, so here with the blue green it will be keep switching among themselves, like first if it goes and hits to EC2 green, then next request will not go to the EC2 green, it will be going to the red. So yeah, this also one of the good feature we have in AWS, where the huge number of traffic can be evenly distributed among the application. Well, I think it will be more useful if you go through the demo, and there I'll be going to explain the same set of services and load balancer in a practical mode. So that will be really helpful. Please proceed towards the demo. Okay, let's see in the demo then. Okay, let's start with creating the load balancer. So for that, I'll be going to EC2 section, and there we can get load balancer. Okay, I click the load balancer. I think I have to go to target group first because my approach is first target group, then the load balancer. Create a target group, which is IP address. I'll give 8083 and I'll keep the default VPC. And for health check, I'll give actuator, actuator slash health. This will be a path for health check. I think that's it. Next. Oh, it's an error. We have to go for name. Time TG I'll give. Next. Next, create the target group. Same wise, I'll create another target group. IP address. I'll give the name people TG. And this will be with the port 8084 I'll give. And again it will be default one. This will be actuator slash health. This will be my path health check. Path for the health check. Next, create the target group. Okay, so I have two target groups with port 8084 and 8083. Okay, both are target type as IP. Let's create a load balance, cluster. Sorry, I'll start with load balancer. Low L my LB. It will be internet facing. I'll be putting 80 port. I'll pick the default VPC. Two subnets, I'll check it. I think that's it. For security group, I'll be choosing Discovery SG. I'll show the inbounds later on in this video. Configure routing. So by default, I'll give one of the target group which I have created. I'll give the time target group, which will be IP, and it has the health check. Next. Okay, create. So this is my DNS name for the load balancer. This is a single point of contact to the internet. Now let's create the EC. Let's go for the forget. Next, I give my cluster name as my cluster. Create PU cluster. And since task definition I already have few which is working, I'll be not showing in this demo how to create the task definition. I think we can get it. You can get it in another demo where I have created for. Let's create the service. First, I'll create the time service. For that, I'll take task definition time task def, which is already created, and service name I'll give time service. I'll give number of task 1 so that one instance will be running. Next, here VPC I'll give the default, and two subnets I'll take it. Yeah, security group, as I said initially, Discovery SG, which I have chosen previously, it has 4 inbound connections for the port 80, 84, 83 and 82. I'll be playing with 8084 and 8083. Okay, next, save. Now I'll pick the load balancer. So since the container has the intelligence to identify which port it has to pick, still listening port we have to provide, it is 80. and target group, I'll use time teaching. So it will automatically pick the health check path and all. Next, next, and create the service. So this now we have created the service. Let's view the service. So it will be starting in a while. Meanwhile, what I'll do is I'll create another service which is people service. Sorry, I think I clicked yeah, create. For it, I'll take task definition test service as people service. Again, task is one instance will be running for people service. Next, we have to take a default VPC and security group same way like discovery service group, because 8084 is port is available for that. Save. Load balancer, application load balancer. So container is ready to add for 8084. Listener is that. And target group, I'm not able to get it. Still it is loading, I guess. Let's wait for a few minutes. Let me check EC2 target group. Sometimes it will take time to load the EC2. Okay, let's refresh. Meanwhile, I'll show you the time target group. So which is created in the target section, the tab. You can see that the port which is been mapped and the private IP which is the instance will be having. Okay, and people somehow it is not commit. I'll do one thing. I'll create a, I will start with again freshly creating a service. You cancel it now. I'll create a, we create newly, forget service name, people service name, one task, and next. Oh, I think I missed the task definition. It should be test. Okay, next, and here VPC I'll take the default one, subnets, and security group. It is discovery service server, and application load balance. Hopefully it should come now. Let's keep finger crossed. No, still it's not yet come. I think I need to wait, or meanwhile what we'll do, we'll go and create some listeners for this one, for the load balancer. I'll go EC2, and here we'll go for target groups are correct only. It should come. What will do? I think something gone wrong or what? No targets available. Let's refresh. I think it may take time, or we'll do one thing. We'll create the listeners. Hopefully, it will come at that time listener, sometimes if you add the listener it will come there also. So let's go for load balancer. So we'll go for the listener section, and here we have only one rule which is default, which is targeting to time target group. I'll add few more like path people slash tar. It's people after that anything. We should point to target group people TG. Okay, let's just save this first. Yes, save and create one more. I'll add one more rule, that is for time. Add path slash time slash star, and it will be pointing to time target. Okay, let's save it. Hopefully this should results now. Here, nope. So I'll do one thing, I'll start it first freshly, creating a new service, because sometimes half done task will not identify the latest changes. We'll go for create again, forget test task definition, people service, and number of task 1, and next I'll pick the default VPC, subnets, security group, service discovery, service SG. Okay, save. Next, application load balancer. Let's keep the finger crossed. Listening port 80 and target group. Yes, now it came. And pick the people target group. Next step, and create. Let's view. So this target group should come here, that private IP and the instance. We'll see the instance here. The IP will be, it is 37.149. And let's keep in mind, we go for target group. We'll wait for it. People target group, target section. Yes. So you can see 37.149, and it is healthy also. Okay, so whatever target group we achieved it here. So by default, IP address will point to this particular target group. Okay, now we'll take the DNS name. Let's test these two services pointing to by path how it is differentiating slash people slash test. I think, yeah, test it is slash, yeah, I can see hello, I am people service. This is my test endpoint which I have created. Yeah, for same way, in time we have one more endpoint which shows the today's date and time. Today time slash today. Yes, see, time is available. So based on the rules, the load balancer routes to these two services. Okay, this way we can achieve the routing mechanism in the load balancer. Okay, now let's go to EC2's instance, and I have two EC2 instance running, and in that I installed Apache web server. Okay, and I have configured one index file where it will show um, the IP address of the IP or the DNS name of the service which is running. So let me pick the public IP. You can see here, this is the DNS name and I give an instance to, and this is the DNS name for that one. And let's take the another one. That will be instance 1. Uh, so this is the public IP. Let's put this one. Yes. So it is instance 1 with another DNS name for this service. Okay. Okay. Now what we do is since two instances are running, we have to create one target group. So I'll pick the instance this time and I'll give the name for that one. So instance is running in 80 port, I'll keep the same port. Default to VPC, I'll give the name instance target group and health I'm keeping slash. So I have two instances which is visible available for my availability zone. I'll add it and create the target group. So third target group is 80 port. So now what we need to do is we have to go to load balancer and listener part. We have a default we for 80 port it is pointing to target group, time target group. Now we have to change this one to instance because 80 is pointing to instance target group. So we'll add target group as instance target group. Let's save this, update, and let's try pick the IP DNS name of the load balancer and we'll go for enter. See here, we can see instance 1. If we refresh, it is instance 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So in round robin method, the traffic will be distributed among the instances. Okay. Let's try the old services which we have. It is slash people slash test. Yeah, and hello, I am service. Let's try the time service which I have. Time slash today. Oops, something gone wrong. I think first let me check the target group. Let me see whether instance is healthy or not. Let me go to target group, the time target group. In target section, it is healthy, then not an issue. Okay, I think the issue is with the listener part. Let's go to the load balancer, listener, edit. Oh yeah, I think we have to provide slash star. It should be like time and after that whatever is there as regex. Time slash star. Update. Hope it should solve the problem. I think it will take for a while to update and refresh for a while. Let me retype this one, time slash today. Yes, now it is coming. So we achieved it. With one load balancer, we achieved with two EC2 instance and two services will be routing. So with IP address routing and path routing is done. this is the demo what I had. Hope you liked it.